just decided last week I'm just going to go around and ask women what that ass is. And so many were receptive. I got flipped off by one blonde girl, and she told me to go fuck myself. I said, "Listen, I need help with that, honey." And she was like, "All right, well, you're kind of witty, so so what are you about too?" And I said, "Like, I'm about that ass. What that ass do? Answer my question." And we had a back and forth. I got a number, but the point was, I couldn't believe that works. I'm like, okay.
Welcome to the Better Man Podcast with Ivan and Sumed. This podcast is all about how to be an optimal, conscious male in today's society. Join Ivan and Sumed as they go deep into the rabbit hole of personal growth, mindset, social dynamics, and spirituality. Are you ready to be a better man?
Everybody, welcome to the Better Man Podcast with Ivan and Sumed. We've got a very special guest today who's going to bring us his very own unique perspective, and he's got so much knowledge to share. When it comes to dating, to relationships, to mindset, the mindset that you have to enter after a breakup, after a hard breakup. If you've been struggling with your breakups, this guy, if you sort of had anger towards women, sort of a hate towards women, this guy's your guy. You're going to want to listen closely. Before we get started, I want to go through the intention, the affirmation of the day, right? What is the perspective that we're going to be walking through? Now repeat after me. The universe supports me.
I hit it. Oh, me. Universe supports me.
I am ready to receive.
I'm ready to receive.
The universe supports me.
The universe supports me.
I am ready to receive.
I am ready to receive.
Fantastic. Congratulations, everybody. You just opened yourself up to the universe. Nick, welcome to the Better Man Podcast. How are you feeling 1 out of 10?
I'm feeling pretty good. Pretty fucking caffeinated, actually. But you said something in the intro, but I was just like, that's exactly what my page is about tackling too. This weird, bitter taste that a lot of men have toward women.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. As soon as they get red pills, all of a sudden they take a black pill. I actually had one dude comment on that earlier today too. It's like, don't take too many black pills. Like, I'm not black pilled at all. I don't see why anybody would be.
For people who don't understand what that is, red pill, black pill, blue pill, they're probably thinking you're talking about Matrix 1, 2, and 3.
Almost. We almost are, but it's because the blue pill is, I guess you'd be plugged in, as a lot of people put in. A few YouTubers say that you're plugged in to the blue pill matrix, as in like you appease the feminine. Why is it so loud here? You appease the feminine. You beckon to them.
Appease?
Appease. You appease. You bend over backwards to the feminine women. You're a doormat. I used to kind of be like that, which was weird because I'm 6 foot tall and I was actually a jock in high school, but I was still somehow a doormat. I don't know how that happened to me.
What do you mean you were a doormat? Like what kind of things were you doing?
I would do almost anything. When I was in high school, I would just do almost anything anyone would ask me to do. I do remember actually opening a door for them too. Like, and I still do that now, but it's with like kind of a different attitude. Like I'm opening up the door because I want to, because I think I should, not just because you're attractive. Like, I'll open the door for old women. I open the door for like a 6-year-old, just as I would for like a hot 18-year-old. Like it should all be like kind of the same perspective too, and that's probably where the old on my page I'm doing a segment right now called "Nurture Your Inner Out," which that seems like me to be like one of the most popular things I've done so far on my Instagram. Sorry. So
It's all right, man.
yeah,
Don't worry too much about that. Just worry about being the best version of you right now.
there you go. But so back to the pill thing. Blue pill, you're plugged into the blue pill matrix, where you're basically a white. Well, you are a white. You're a white knight if you're plugged in. And I do say that I'll go with them. I'll go with a lot of these red pill guys on that. And then I come with the red pill guys where I say, take care of yourself first. Make sure you're doing things because you want to, not just to make other people happy. Don't be a people pleaser. That's what a lot of people get wrong when they're plugged in. When I guess they're still blue pill. And I do agree with this. Once you go red pill, you can't go back. And I'm not the one that's all too much of the red pill thing, but that's true. Once you take the red pill, you can't go back. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You see the future. You see the world for what it is. You see women for the way they are, and you need to do is kind of get past this bitter taste, because it will leave a bitter taste in your mouth. Where we discover women are hypergamous. Women don't have accountability. Women don't have kind of a sense of honor. But in the way that the universe and the world, it kind of works that way. It kind of balances things out, because they had a sense of honor and a sense of accountability and strength and stability. What the hell do they need us for? I guess that's how this kind of works. So I guess now we'll go into the black pill, where some men get black pilled. They can so all the time that you invest in them, all the doors you held open, all the gifts you gave them, all the bills you paid, you probably paid off their student loan debt, probably bought them a car. It doesn't really matter, because what matters to women is what's happening right now, how they feel at this moment. And that's where they are. So even if you're going through a breakup, they only want to break up with you at this moment. You'll see a lot of exes, once you're over them, they'll start coming back and blowing up your phone. I don't know if that's ever happened to you. But
I totally get what you're saying. No, I totally get what you're saying. One time I was dating this girl. She's a beautiful woman. She was Moroccan. She was Muslim. She would wear her hijab. I'm not Muslim. She was actually taller than me, right? But I was the most alpha in school, so she came to me. But she broke up with me after a week or two. She was like, I'm just not feeling it, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And I was just sort of nonchalant about it. And that nonchalantness made her realize, oh shit, maybe this guy really isn't.
Maybe he's real.
Maybe he is a fucking badass. I turned her on, right? But see, the problem here is what I see now is a lot of women are going with men for validation.
Yeah.
Validation. That's what a lot of women want. They want to be validated. There's a girl out there and she, you guys don't usually text, right? And then suddenly she calls you. She's looking for your validation. She's looking, let's just say you guys are far away from each other. You guys are not going to meet. You're in different countries, different cities. When she calls you, she's looking for your validation. She wants to feel worthy. She wants to feel beautiful, right? A lot of women are like this for sure. And I think that's, I personally only date women with a higher self-esteem, because those are the women that are not going to leave me, right? Those are the women that are actually not, the girls with a high self-esteem girls are going to stick with you if you're a badass motherfucker.
Yeah, because the high self-esteem girls know what they're looking for.
And if this is what happens though, if you fuck up, she's not going to leave you. She's going to tell you that you're fucking up. Right, but a low self-esteem girl, she'll just be like,
communicate to you.
She'll be like, oh hell no, I gotta get out of here real quick before this shit goes this goes bad. I need to start looking for another boyfriend, this and that. She won't break up with you until she already has the other boyfriend lined up.
No, that's how a lot of women work. It's called monkey branching. They won't let go of one branch, so they have a hold of another one. Again, I see where some guys get this old black pill and women are awful without it. They're not. They just have a different operating system than we do. And like you just said, they're girls with a high self-esteem. Well, they're usually really well balanced. The thing is, they understand that they don't need you to complete them. They are a complete person that's not using you. but
Mhm.
wants to share a life with you because you enhance it. Like that's all you're doing. That's all that anybody should be looking for. It's not somebody to complete your life, someone to enhance your life.
Yeah, exactly, dude. You're spot on with it. A lot of people are looking for their other half when you're already full. You're already
Yeah.
complete, right? This is why I think that like if a girl like breaks up with you and she's not dating anyone like right after, she still wants to be with you. She still wants to be with you.
Most likely. Because I'll just say this too. I got this from the guy I follow. And I'll plug him. I'll plug him when we're allowed to plug people. Uh, when they break up with you, they're never 100% sure they want to. Like, and that goes for everyone, men and women. Whenever you break up with somebody, you're never 100% sure you actually want to break up with them. Like, they're always like, especially as women, they're looking for you. If you can reobtain your strength, reobtain your like, masculine energy, reobtain your purpose,
Mm.
then they'll all of a sudden they'll get again. They operate on feelings.
Yeah,
When they
yeah,
feel your strength, they'll remember all those emotions, all those feelings, those memories. Then they'll all come back and they'll understand. This is why I started dating you. This is why I wanted to be with him. This is why I stayed committed with him. I'm going to stay where I am. He's back on his purpose, and I'm fine with it. If you lose it for a little while, like let's just say you become lethargic for a little while, like sick or injured or whatever happens to you, a good woman will deal with that. They'll deal with it for a while. You just got to find something new. Like let's just say I don't know, you broke one of your legs, or you were a track star.
and you can't work. Oh yeah, are you a track star? Or you can't work anymore.
Yeah, and you can't work anymore. Like you're Usain Bolt or something. His wife will probably put up with that for I'm going to say a year of doing probably nothing. Just because he's Usain Bolt, he's extremely high value. He's extremely high. That's a high quality man right there. But after a year, it's like this is not the man you signed up for. The man she signed up for was devoted, was committed, was strong, had a purpose, had a drive, had happiness. If you're sitting around moping around the house, for too long, she's going to be like, well, you're not giving me the strength and the security that I need, that I count on.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll go look for that somewhere else. That's where a lot of these breakups happen.
Yeah,
if I'm not going to say it's the man's fault at all.
Mm-hmm. When she's not being met at all her needs, at all of her needs.
Yeah,
that's when that happens.
Yeah, again, generals. A lot of American society media will tell us that there are no generals. The fuck they aren't. The fuck they aren't. There's absolutely generals. Men, we are strength and we are security. Those are if you have nothing else, you have those two things going for you: strength and security. You should be confident too. You should have strength, security, and confidence. Women will rejuvenate you with passion, or they'll rejuvenate you with refreshing energy. Just if you're tired and burned out from work, they'll massage your shoulders. If you're bored because you're just stuck in one routine to another, they should hit that info switch and give you something.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends. This is how this kind of dance, this mating dance, kind of works. Where we got this Disney happily ever after thing. I know where it came from. It came from TV. It's retarded, but
yeah,
it's essentially it's just wrong.
Yeah, I definitely do agree with you in the sense that if you are being your best self, if you're being, let's just say more specifically, an amazing man, right? The woman will naturally want to take care of you. She'll naturally want to massage you. She'll naturally want to suck your dick. She'll naturally want to cook for you, clean for you, massage you, all of that naturally, right? But why do you think that it's been opposite? Why do you think it's been opposite where a lot of women are not doing that thing for the men? Do you think it's the men's fault?
Yes, but no. It's not their fault because they're being raised this way too. They're being raised with a big misunderstanding of how this works. It works on more of and we'll get into this too. It works more on kind of a primal level, where, like I think I told you and Ivan yesterday too, where it's like it used to be easier. You could kill a jaguar, bring it back to your tribe. Just look at the girls like, no, get over here. I'm slaying pussy right now. So, guys, just walked in. So this is a lot of men are being told if you defend women, if you get on their side, if you think like them, if you watch a lot of these Disney movies, then all this happy crap will happen. This is where the whole blue pill thing comes from. The blue pill versus red pill thing comes from. Is that these? Can you hear me okay? I know there's a few people that came in.
Yeah.
A whole blue pill red pill thing came from where in red pill they kind of, but they don't say it, but they kind of go back to where they call it game, which is pick apart phrase that I'll get into too, where they want to tell you that. I'm not sure where to start with this because red pill is kind of a mess too, in my opinion. But I believe in their philosophies. Blue pill is just all the way around wrong. But I guess red pill, I think they're right in the sense that it's like you need to take away this whole fantasy of happily ever after. But the truth is, the game doesn't stop. You got to keep. They say keep dating your wife. Keep dating your wife. Keep flirting with her. Keep making it known to her what you want out of her. And in turn, she should be honestly returning the favor to you. How this works in long-term relationships is it gets difficult. I'm not going to it's difficult because there's a whole question going to as to whether we're monogamous or not. And I'm trying not to unload too much at once here because I'm not sure how long we have in these podcasts usually.
45 to an hour. 45 to an hour.
Yeah. Okay, I got time for that.
I definitely do think that some of us are monogamous and some of us are polyamorous. I think it really is just that way. For the most part, in my relationship, 'cause I do have a girlfriend. She just dedicates herself to me, right? Because she only wants to be with me, you know.
That's good.
And I've spoken about my insecurities to her anyway, because I still have insecurities, and I talked to her about my insecurities, and I had an insecurity that by talking to her about my insecurities, it was going to manifest my insecurity. That's what I thought, but it actually strengthened my relationship, and it actually strengthened me. But actually, though, in my relationship, I'm allowed to go in and make out with other women and have sex with other women, and eventually, when the right girl comes around, I'm gonna have a second and third girlfriend, right? But there's a specific things that I have to know in order to make that work. Otherwise, it wouldn't work.
Okay, so I just kind of read the book Sex at Dawn. I'm rereading it for the second time. I don't know if you read it by Chris Ryan.
No, never.
Okay, well, they talk about men have this thing called a Coolidge theory, which is where we get this whole polyamorous thing from. Coolidge is basically, after so many years, you get tired of the same thing. I can't tell you how many men have had that complaint. After so many years being with my wife, the passion kind of falls away. I get kind of tired of her. Not tired of her, you still love her to death. Love her more than anything else in the world. But the physical sexual attraction just isn't there anymore. They don't understand why. There's the Coolidge. What's happening is the Coolidge effect. And it's the effect that came from our Stone Age ancestors. Because this is back when there was only like maybe a million and a half people populating the entire planet. But it would come in to give men an exotic kind of preference. Exotic meaning different from us, different from what you're used to, which would mean that you would have less of a chance of incest. You wouldn't end up fucking your daughter you haven't seen in 20 years. So it was kind of an evolutionary necessity that we gained this. So as much as women, and I see some of the craziest things too, because a lot of women, they almost don't really care. Like they feel like they're following a script from reports. Like when they hear that their man cheated on them, like they pack up and leave because they think that's just what they're supposed to do, not because that's what they feel like doing.
I agree with you, man. I agree with you there. That like I was telling my brother, do you think a woman cares that LeBron is married?
No woman cares LeBron's married.
She still wants LeBron. You know what I mean? If she wants LeBron, so the woman chooses the man. And I'm not in the belief that, of course, the man chooses the woman sexually. He has to find her attractive. But then, But if she doesn't want to be with him, then they don't get together. She has the final decision as to who she's going to be with. So if a man is like the top of the man, the top of the top, she's fine with sharing him. She's fine.
That's exactly what hypergamy is. They will share an alpha before they settle with a beta. That's how every woman is, whether they like it or not. And honestly, it's like one of those things like, no, it doesn't sound pretty. It doesn't sound like, happy Disney Blue Pill fairy tale. But that's the way it is. And it's, again, this is where I've been doing like a whole bunch of tribal studying. I can't pronounce the name of the clan. It's called the Ashti clan, I'm slaughtering the name. They have the funniest custom that I laughed when I heard it. When I found out it was serious, I was like, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. So, I think it was like once a month, like there would be a group of like 12 or 15 women that would go around the houses and knock on the door and wake up the man and his wife or his kids. And they would tell the man, the one who knocked on the door, by the way, is the one that's asleep. Tell the man it's time for ritual. It's a meat gathering ritual. They have to go out and hunt and bring back meat. So the dude will feign his tired, his fatigue, and like unwillingness to do. Like, I really don't want to get up. I don't want to do this. I'm happy home. They get out. All the dudes meet up, and they all agree. We're going to come back here at this one spot. We're just going to divide whatever we catch with each other. So we all get a woman or two, or three tonight. So I just thought that was hilarious. It was like, dudes have been looking out for each other since forever.
Let me just make sure, like I got what you're saying here. So you were saying that the men would get together and they would hunt everything,
Yep.
And then they would just share all the meat that they got at the end of the day.
They would divide it up and then bring it back into the village where the women are. They're like in a semicircle, but every man would have a share of their meat. Because if they didn't bring back anything, they wouldn't get these women that knocked on the door. They wouldn't get them. The women would just naturally go to whoever was able to hunt.
What do you mean the women were knocking on the doors? I think that's the part I didn't get about women knocking on doors.
Oh, so they just started this thing like once a month where like 15 or so many village women would knock on the door. They would go around like the village. They go around the village and then knock on the houses, not doors of the houses where these men and their families live at. And these families are, all these houses are, kind of tribal, like huts and put together like wood and clay and everything. But they knock on the door, and basically when those 15 women show up, they're singing a song that tells them what ritual is going on, the ritual of like the meat gathering. So that's when they gather all the men that they want to participate in. Or all the men participate. I can't remember which one it is. I'm assuming that all the men participate in this ritual.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big village. They all gather in one spot, like into the woods. They have an agreed spot where they all meet up at.
The women have an agreed spot where they meet at.
No, the men have an agreed spot where they meet
Yeah,
up.
bro, that's the part.
Women are meeting in the middle of the village. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
That's they're jumping from the women knocking on doors and they're doing the ritual to the men being in circle, and that's the part that confused me.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. The women knock on the doors. The woman who knocked on the door is the one that will sleep with the man, have sex with the man that night. Have sex with the man that night if he brings back a successful hunt. If he cannot, of course, she just won't sleep with him. So, the men have to feign and fake that they don't want to do it in order to go out into the woods. And there's a specific spot, not known to the women, but to the men. They all know a specific spot before the hunt begins to meet up and make an agreement. Okay, we all come back here in like about an hour, whatever time frame reference, with whatever we have. And when we come back, we'll divide the meat up so that everybody participating here doesn't go without a sexual partner to them.
Mm-hmm.
So the women, in the meantime, are singing in a semicircle back in the village. And when the men come back with I'm not sure how they're carrying the meat, but they come back with the meat and they put it down in front of the circle in front of the women that knocked on the door for them. Everybody gets a cut, everybody gets a successful hunt, and everybody gets a couple of sex partners for the night.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was hilarious. just because I was thinking dudes have been sticking together since I don't know how long, since apparently since the Stone Age.
Yeah.
So that was one ritual. Another one is I forgot what this tribe clan was. Apparently, and here's where monogamy comes into question. There's another tribe where. Sorry, I was screaming. You hear me okay through the?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not sure what tribe it is, whether it's a tribe or a village. But this is just the chapter I read where women, as they get married, they have to go through kind of a prostitution process. And that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard of, where not only does your husband make love to you on the day of your wedding, so does all of his relatives. It's the craziest thing. But I suppose it's to do this. It's to kind of give you, the woman and her child, insurance that no matter what happens to her husband, she will have a male that has a vested interest in the child.
Oh shit. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that was like a heavy one to me. And honestly, it hit my ear wrong, where it's kind of like, that's fucked up. But at the same time, I'm like, no, it's kind of makes sense because they don't have money or anything like that. Man. They don't have like money, or they don't have any modern, technology. Medicine, yeah, I would like to think that, like, no, if I die, I would think my kid has somebody else that will take care of him. So we would have to kind of be in agreement with this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing. So there's a whole bunch of other problems.
Yeah. I think that when it comes to sex and evolution and continuing to survive, it does make sense for the woman to want to do that, right?
Whole tribe does it.
And it's like relationships are about power, right?
Yeah.
And there's always going to be one person who's more dominant.
Yeah, that was just my monogamy thing. Are we actually monogamous, or are we naturally polygamous?
And I think it really just does depend on who you are and where you are consciously, evolutionary, because people are sort of these things that they're doing it from a point of survival, right? So your consciousness is only from survival, right? For me,
your genetics must go on. That's their thought.
Yeah, but now, like, I'm a purpose-driven person, right? So part of what I like eventually going to teach something called third eye game, right? Which is like game, but for like high conscious people, right? And it's all about purpose for me, right? No longer is it about aligning yourself with someone who's attractive or caring or whatever, but it's like a girl can only be my girlfriend if she falls along the path of my purpose, right? And that's why I think that, like, mine is just different in that way, that things wouldn't happen like that, right? Things wouldn't happen like that in mine, but it freaks me out.
Dude, first time I read this book, I was like, kind of like, I don't think I slept that first night, because I was like, what am I reading? Is this for real? Is this really happening? And I did a couple Google searches, and like, okay, sure enough, this shit's actually happening. But let's bring this back to the modern day. Women still have like some of this kind of because that's all about survival. That's all about just like where they're at. They don't have the modern medicine. They don't have. These guys probably don't even have shirts. Back in here in the modern world, we have typically monogamous relationships, or monogamous and an extra parental or extra partnerships. So For here, we do have to keep our women kind of we have a little bit more higher stakes because we want to keep our women a little more in line. We want to make sure they're more attracted. They want to come back to us constantly. It's a little bit more of a psychological warfare game we have to play here in the modern rules because, like you just said, you're playing third eye game or high consciousness.
Yeah.
You can just play regular game, which I think again, I couldn't believe this actually worked. I just decided last week I'm just going to go around and ask women what that ass do, and so many were receptive. I got flipped off by one blonde girl, and she told me to go fuck myself. I said, "Listen, I need help with that, honey," and she was like, "All right, well, you're kind of witty, so so what are you about too?" And I said, "Like, I'm about that ass. What that ass do? Answer my question." And we had a back and forth. I got a number, but the point was, I couldn't believe that works. I'm like, okay, so they want you to just kind of come at them.
Yeah.
A lot of women just want you just kind of like to just go at them, like, and they want you to kind of make them laugh too. Not kind of, they want you to make them laugh.
Yeah, they want to feel good. They want to feel good.
Yeah, they want to feel good too. And Craig Beck said it best in his books, where he said, like, if you can walk away from whether you get rejected or not, if you make her laugh or you have a positive interaction with a female, you've done a good job. You've done a good job. You had a successful interaction. You had a successful approach.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where a lot of the approaches come from too. So these days, like anytime I approach a woman, can you still hear me okay?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Anytime I approach a woman, my goal is just to make sure she walks away with from this interaction, seeing it in a positive light, seeing me as fun, seeing me as charming. I don't get the charming things involved, but just seeing me as like a fun person. Maybe I could talk to him again. I just put my phone in a Russian girl's. I put my number in a Russian girl's phone yesterday, just because. I don't even know what she was talking to me about. I just did it when she was watching me talk.
Are you more of a direct or indirect approach?
I think I'm a very direct approach.
Yeah.
Very direct. I'm a very natural kind of seducer, and that only makes sense because I've read Robert Greene's book, The Art of Seduction.
Yeah.
You ever read that book?
That's a good book for sure.
Yeah, it's great too. But when we're going down the list, and I've read it several times too. What kind of seducer are you? When it came to the natural, I'm like, that sounds like me. I get away with a lot of bullshit I know I shouldn't get away with. I grab women a lot of ways I know I shouldn't grab them. And there's a few jobs I should have been fired from, even before I became red pill or doing what I do now.
Mm-hmm.
Where there's like a lot of girls like my age or so often even younger too. A lot of hot girls. I would grab them by the waist and grab them by the hips. And just move them around, and I would just do shit that nobody else is allowed to do. I ended up like behind the office answering phones when I shouldn't have. I should have been fired so many times, and I'm just not. And it turns out the natural seducer is somebody who is always, well, according to Genji in the book, is always allowed his way. So I just kind of roll with that, which is why I become like I'm very naturally directed. Now there's a lot of other things too. My best friend, my brother, he's a coquettish kind of guy. He plays hot and cold, plays that game. It works for him. Like I think he gets way more girls and numbers than I do.
Yeah.
They just respond to him very well.
Yeah, for sure. I get what you're saying. For me, my style is more like, I mean, it just depends. If I'm in a club is more direct. Club is more direct. But if I'm in the, sometimes when I'm in the street, like if I see somebody in the street, sometimes it's more direct, right?
Right.
But sometimes I go through an indirect approach of conversation, right? Illicit conversation. If you can become a fucking amazing conversationalist, girls will get wet over that. And if you are an amazing storyteller, she's going to be thinking, oh, this guy fucks real good. If you can tell good stories, she's thinking, damn, this guy's going to dig me down. So the thing is, I just go in and I'm triggering her evolutionary, her psychological triggers without me like hitting on her. Like I'm not even hitting on her and she's liking me. That's my style of game, where I'm just I know what it is that you're looking for, right? And I'm just like I don't care, like, oh yeah, you're a girl, but I don't really want your pussy.
The weird thing, it's not even weird too. The funny thing I find about a lot of men today, why they always make excuses as to why they don't want to approach, like why they don't want to talk to a girl.
Mm.
And I get it because somewhere in your head, the sentence, why don't you go talk? The question, why don't you go talk to her? It gets mistranslated in their head and gets turned into something way more complicated than what it is. I'm not saying go talk to her as in start mid conversation with something about like whatever you're into, like baseball or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying go over there and ask her, so what are you eating? If she's eating something, if she's working out, I would just ask her, like, are you a track star? You're running pretty hard. Yeah, move over. I'm gonna get on the treadmill. Move over. We'll try this. And there's just like a few things like that too. There's been a couple times. I'm not in the club, and that's something about me too. I'm not like a club approach kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is too. Something about like not being able to hear her over the music, kind of like all right, I'm not getting my thing across here.
Yeah, definitely. Whenever I go to clubs, I prefer to go with like a friend or my sister, right? Because it just makes it easier. Like girls are like, oh, this guy's safe to talk to, right?
Yeah.
And dude, I swear, like fucking me and my sister, we're, I'm an introverted extrovert. I'm both. I can be whatever I want. So whenever I go out, a lot of times, like I have to tap into my extroverted self, but then shit will just bloom as it goes, right? Like I'll be like this, like I'll use the law of attraction to my advantage. I'll look at a girl and I'll be like, I'm gonna talk to that girl. That girl's gonna like be mine later, right? And then
Right.
I don't know, somehow like me and my sister will start a circle, a dancing circle, and everyone's trying to get in there, right? And then now more girls are hopping into the circle, and I'm like the only dude there, and there's a bunch of other dudes like hovering around, and then girls are
They're
like,
afraid to squeeze by them. That's the funniest thing.
or you just sometimes you gotta defend your territory. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you just gotta like push people out the way. Like bro, like we're not like no, like get your fucking dick out of here. This is my fucking pussy. This is my town, dude. And if you can fucking dance, if you can go, like you have to understand the language of the location, right? Like if you can dance on the dance floor, that's the language there, right?
Yeah, it is.
Like sometimes I'll be dancing, right? And then I'll like hop to the floor, and then like a girl will like run and she'll like twerk on me, rub her pussy on me, and then she'll like run away.
They do that all the time. I think this happened to me a couple times just sitting in one place.
Yeah,
Go come up and straddle me and then run off. I used to be like not know what I didn't. I used to when I was younger. I didn't know what the hell that was too. Now I realize like, okay, she's kind of into me, but she's also kind of scared. I should probably go find her at some point. Not right now. Let me finish what I'm doing.
Yeah, sometimes I also think like if I go in too hard right now, like let's just say a girl's talking about like her sex or her tits or whatever, and I'm sort of like overreacting about it. Like if I were to go,
that's
I was like, oh shit, like I don't know, just like like I don't know, just I can't describe it in words, but I can describe it emotionally, like like that.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what it is because I think I covered this too. Women will use sex as a test to see if you're really confident in talking about sex. I get that chill up your spine too, where you kind of have the reaction like, "What the?" F-? But no, they're testing to see if you're really confident, if your frame is going to break or not. We'll talk about alpha frame in a second. But they want to see if your alpha frame will break if they just talk about sex. Because a lot of guys start freaking out. They start stumbling over their words. They'll actually hang on to the topic of sex too much, which is a big mistake. You start hanging on to it.
Yeah, holding on to
Yeah, like you can't focus on anything else. Then she knows like, okay, so you're just after this. There's one story of one dude. This is not even a story. This actually happened. I saw this happen. One girl had her huge titties out, like not out, but she just had like her cleavage down, like down to her belly button. Sexy as shit. We all knew what it was. And my friend went over to talk to her for a little while. He was doing great, but he couldn't keep his eyes off her cleavage, off her tits.
Mm.
So she just asked him, "Do you like my tits?" And he was like, "Yeah, I think they're great." And she was like, and then she was done talking. What happened was he validated her way too soon. Like she didn't have to earn it. She just asked, like, "Do you like my tits?" And he's like, "Yeah." She's like, "All right, cool. Now I'm done here."
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a bit strange because sometimes, I don't know. Like I'll go up to a girl and be like, "Yo, I came over here to say hello to your tits." Like
Being direct is good that way too.
so I think the problem that happened there was that he took too long to acknowledge what he was there to do. Right?
That was one way.
Sometimes, like the girl knows that you're there, that you're talking to her because you like her, because you want to fuck her. I think that's what I think. Like whether you do indirect or direct, the girl always knows that you want to fuck her.
No, the hot girls know why you're there. They all pick up on it pretty quickly just by how you're acting. They pick up on why you're there, why you want to fuck them.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably where the whole thing I did last week with that ass to. What about them titties though? I kept saying that to women, and they kept responding positively. One time, because I was pretty upfront about what I'm talking or I want to talk to them about. I think he could have saved it, and I think he only could have saved it by just throwing her off. Because at that point, I think she lost interest because he became way too predictable, and this is where some of the game comes from. Instead of saying like, "Yeah, they're great. I like your tits," you should have said like, "They're not bad, but my balls are way better."
bro.
Just knock it off a little bit. Like,
I would have been like, yeah, they're fucking distracting me. Cover the fuck up. Like, get your fucking tits out of my face. Like, yeah, but my balls are better. Bro, I don't know. I think that'd probably get a good reaction too.
Yeah, it would be the shock reaction too. She knows you're gonna answer yes.
Mm-hmm. What are some of your strategies?
Oh, my strategy is a big. It's actually just like that too. It's just misdirection too. Like again, if a girl has like a crop top on, like her underboob is out too, and nipples are hard, I came over here to talk to you because your titties are out. Once again, I'll say like they remind me of my grandmother's throw pillows. My balls are better. I just want to like throw her off a little bit too. I don't directly tell her she's not my type because some guys will go up to a brunette and say I usually talk to blondes, but I'll settle for you. That's where a girl is just like, no, I want to at least know like she doesn't want to know you're disinterested, but she also doesn't want to entirely know that you're totally interested. I want to leave her in like that middle gray area where she should be really sure why I'm here. Again, one of my approaches, I love the direct approach. Another one of my approaches is I just like to ask her for directions. That's something I'll do if I'm downtown. I hate being downtown. Or if I'm in the park, too. I would ask them, like, you know how to get back to the parking lot? Do you know where the dog park is? Do you know where the river is? And while she's giving me directions, again, she only answers one of 4 ways. She could say, yes, I know, and then walk away. That'd be an asshole thing to do. She could say, yes, and then give you directions. She could say no, but then try to give you some bad directions. And then she could say no, and then not give you directions. So those are the 4 things that will happen. Most likely, she'll either do only 2. So when she does decide to give you directions, that's where you can like just start making jokes. And then sometimes I'll say, "Have I seen you before?" Probably heard that line before. Have I seen you before? She's like, "I don't think so." It's like, "Were you an extra on such and such TV show?" That usually gets them kind of blushing, kind of thinking a little bit more. And typically a conversation kind of starts from there. But when I say, "Have I seen you on so and so show?" Were you an extra? Were you an actress? That's where I usually get a lot like, "So do you watch? Have you seen Bird Box? Have you seen?" A lot of women watch Shameless.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the first 3 seasons of that too. I'm like, I don't know. I saw like 3, and that's why I honestly say I've seen like 3 seasons of it, and you can answer that honestly. But a lot of the thing with women, It's about frame. It's about posture. It's about body language, and it's about honestly just kind of communicating to them too. Is I'm going to end this conversation first. That's a big thing that guys screw up on, like trying to linger in the conversation too long. Again, a lot I can handle.
That I think that's a very good point. Like sometimes while I'm having a conversation, I'll be like, oh, we've been talking for a very long time, right? Like point it out in that, like if you're talking to a waitress and she's hot as fuck, and you should be like, hey, don't you gotta get back to your people? Don't you gotta get back to your other clients or whatever?
Shouldn't you get back to work?
Yeah. Things like that, things of that nature. Like what are your strategies? You know, because I mean, obviously I have my own. Obviously, I have my own, and I'm successful, and in where I'm at right now. But what are some like the way you would handle certain situations and shit like that? Like, let's just say, let me give you an example of what I'm thinking about, so perhaps you can understand more clearly. Like, let's just say if there's a girl, right? And I go for the fist bump. If she doesn't go for the fist bump, then she's not down to touch me, right? But if she goes to the fist bump, and then I'll switch to the high five, and then I'll hold her hand, right? And then if she's complying, then I'll be like, hey, and then I'll like move to the elbow, then like wrap her around it, and then like give her a side hug, full hug, pick her up, right? At this point, you could spin her. At this point, you could like if it keeps on going, where you can keep on growing the escalation. Eventually, you probably just kiss her on that spot, right? But if she stops you, if she doesn't high five you like a knuckle, this is different from this. There's more compliance here than here, right?
There is too. If she keeps like kind of leaning away, that's where I like. I wouldn't try to follow her. I would just kind of stand in one. I think in that situation, like if I just fist bump her, like we're walking by, and then she doesn't go for like a high five, and she keeps trying to walk away, I would still like keep talking to her, like are you just gonna leave me hanging? Get back here. I think you just T-bone me, bro. You owe me some insurance information. I need your information, your phone number, your address. What do you got? Sometimes they'll laugh at it, and that's where I say, all right, well, that's a successful interaction. But a lot of times they'll actually come back. That's the thing. So don't follow her. A lot of guys when they do that, the whole contact, that bump.
Yeah, that follow thing is weird as hell, bro.
Don't start following her and trying to talk to her. Yeah, stay in one spot too. It's like, because you don't know, she might actually just be late from work. And you're, following her to work like a weirdo. Like, imagine what's going through her head. Like, why is this guy following her?
Yeah, that's why in situations like that, I position my body ahead of hers, and I walk like this, so it looks almost like I'm leading her, right?
Yeah, that's how it should be.
Yeah,
that's exactly how it should be. Something I do because I'm at the gym a lot, and I've done this a few times too. I'll be doing my lunges. Like lunges or squats. I love doing this on leg day because I'll just like lunge back and forth to the gym. I'll put my weights down, and if a girl dares to walk by me, and I think they're starting to do it on purpose now, I'll grab her up, put her in the fireman's carrier, and start doing my lunges again. I don't know what it is about the compliance too, but I think it's just something about being picked up and being used for exercise that they love doing. One girl was on her phone still, like FaceTiming. I don't know who she was FaceTiming. But I just decided to grab her, put her on my shoulders, and I just started walking around the gym like that.
What? For real, dude? That's wild as hell.
Yeah, I know it's true, and a few people laughed. She thought it was fun. She thought it was funny. Me, it kind of seems to me the weirdest thing was too. I was actually still getting pretty good depth on the lunges.
You didn't know her.
I did not know her. I didn't even know her first
bro,
name.
That's wild as hell. I wouldn't have done that. I would have done that with somebody that I already would have known.
I've seen her a couple times, but I didn't actually know her. So it was probably just one of those things, which kind of tells me, okay, so you were already attracted to me. You're okay. You're cool with this. I didn't think she was gonna be cool with it too, but it's kind of weird. You get kind of like in a zone. You ever been in like that zone where like you can grab this girl and almost do whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I get a lot of times too when I'm in there. Sometimes I'll leave everybody alone, just work out. Other times, I'll just be there to have fun. And That's what women want. They want to have fun. They want a positive, fun interaction.
What's your strategy in the gym? Honestly, I think people would love to hear what's your strategy in the gym.
In the gym,
we've all fucking been there, bro. We see that girl. She's got them fucking Nike leggings on. She's wearing that Gymshark. It's showing her. It's like highlighting her
that ass contour.
Yeah, dude. We've all been there, bro. Like, what's your strategy?
I've been there. My strategy, honestly, if she's looked in your direction, she's in it. So that's something you can know off the top. There's my thing too, where I grab the first. I think one time I grabbed the girl to put on my shoulders for lunges, and one time I grabbed another girl, and she was a lot smaller, like a little Vietnamese John. And I just used her for curls.
Bro.
I was doing bicep curls with her. Yeah, just exactly that too. So there's that. You can do a lot of things too, where like if you see a girl on a machine, you can ask her when she's done and tell her to come get you when she's done with the machine. That'll kind of get her, because even if she's working out right there, a lot of people when they're working out, they're kind of focused on what they're doing and they don't really want to be bothered. But if you ask, hey, let me know, hey, come get me when you're done with this machine. I'm going to be over on the lat pull downs or whatever, wherever you're at, the dumbbells, whatever. Go over to the spot you say you're going to be. She'll come over when she's done.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one. That's a really good one, actually. But I think like, if I want to use that one, I have to make sure I'm in a machine where my body's facing away from her.
That's
because if I tell her, hey, come and get me, and I'm facing her, like, she can obviously see that I'm looking at her.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. Trying to get in a spot where you're not facing her and hopefully there's no mirrors right in front of you that can show both you and her. Because I'm thinking about the format of my gym. So I know where a lot of girls hang out in the leg area. The dumbbell area isn't facing any of them. So for me, when I say dumbbells and lat pull down machine, everything I just named in my gym format, in my head, it's facing away. So make sure you go to the machine that you know is facing away from her. It's crazy all the plans we have to put together just to get a girl to talk to.
You know, I know it almost seems like, yo, we're manipulative or we're evil, or why don't we just go up and talk to her? Because if we this is sort of like to put her defenses down, right? Because like she's got her walls up. She's got her walls up, right? We want you to bring your walls down. What's going on?
Yeah, no, and understandably too, because again, like women are kind of naturally defensive because they're talking to an animal that could essentially beat the shit out of them. Like this is kind of different. This is kind of weird to them. Like, this is something that's at least on average, we're 10% bigger, 10% taller, and 25% heavier. It's like, this is not something you really want to put your guard down around if you don't know them. So, from her perspective, if I just thought to come get me, I want her to make the decision. All right, I'm actually going to go get him.
That's compliance. That's compliance for sure. That's compliance. If she does it, she's complying to you, and now suddenly you became her leader.
Yeah, basically too, and she's coming in to report to me. And when she gets there too, I'm not sure what I come up with on the spot. I think it was one time I asked her, like, "All right, did you wipe it down?" And this is where I just get really direct. Like, "Did you wipe down the machine before you left?" She's like, "I was like, I hope you did." I get really gross. I get really direct and gross with it. But other times you can ask me to wipe it down. Like, I didn't know I had to wipe it down. Like, all right, well, come help me. I was like, all right, well, come help me with this. I was like, all right, cool. Where are you going to be next? And also, you can just start a conversation right there, too. You can say, thank you. You've been so helpful. Here's my name. Ask for her name. So, hey, I've seen you a few times in here. What's your name? I've seen you around here. Like, do I know you? Have I met you? Did we go to school together? There's a whole thing where once the conversation has started, I can just start like putting a base of familiarity down. Like, do I know you from somewhere? That's something I go to a lot. Do I know you from somewhere? And then that's usually how I get her name. That's usually how a conversation.
Dude, I swear, girls do that shit on fucking me, dude. Do I know? I've seen you before, bitch. No, you fucking haven't. But making that shit up, bitch. I read the game. I met Neil Strauss, bitch. You ain't gonna do that shit on me.
I hope I meet Neil Strauss one of these days.
You look like him. We're like, hey, we're brothers. We're both bald. Fuck it.
Yeah, we're both bald. We have like kind of the beard thing going, but I can't get the full goatee.
Mm.
Let's
You know,
talk.
the reason
I
I
like
asked you,
Jessica. I like Jessica Alba too. You talked to her. That was great.
the reason I asked you about what your gym strategy is, because for me, my gym strategy is more like long term, like more of a long term thing. Like I begin to get known by the people who work there. They're like saying what up to me. She's like I'm like just like saying hello to other dudes there, like smiling to people. If I'm walking, I'll just like I'll like smile at somebody or somebody's like hitting it. I'll be like, hit that shit harder, bro. Hit that shit harder, right? And then like just imagine like this girl, she sees me and hears me talking to people everywhere. Well, she's gonna think to herself, this guy's got social capital. He's got social capital because we're looking for financial capital, intellectual capital, social capital is also very important. And she's gonna think like, yo, this guy's badass, right? So then I just start talking to her. She already finds me attractive. I don't have to do the attraction, and the attraction just means attention. Attention. That's what attraction means to me.
That's all it should mean to you. What else happens is women. You're right. They social capital. They call. I think I have a different name for it. I call it status, which essentially means the same thing. So they're attracted to status, financial,
I don't know,
physical.
man. Honestly, I would personally describe status as different. I have a whole podcast episode on it. And I'll tell you why, because I feel like there's men out there that can go out and they could have the Louis Vuitton wallet, they could have the Ferrari, they could have the mansion, but when they go out and talk to girls, the girls don't care. They don't give a fuck that you're rich, that you're a Hollywood producer. They're like, so what? You have the things that should give you status, but you don't have status in my eyes.
It's a no-go. Okay, that's a good one too, because something I really want to touch on is like how much money actually matters. Money should just matter to us, because to me, money just allows me to do cool things. To them, money it's kind of a symbol of security.
Yeah.
But what really is the symbol of security is me. It's me, the provider. I should be the symbol of security. That's when I said earlier, men give two things: strength and security. They give confidence too, but first and foremost, strength and security to a woman. So you can give her. I actually had a client. He was a millionaire too. It was like my best friend's brother-in-law. He got divorced.
Mm-hmm.
He got divorced, and then he got a girlfriend from Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Young, really stupid hot, like stupid hot, and like you were retarded if you looked at her. If you looked at her for too long. But she was a bitch, dude.
She had her defenses up. That's what it is. She felt defensive.
She knew that money. He was a millionaire, so she saw that money. She blew like 40 and 70 grand in just months, and I was just like, "How the fuck did you go through 70 grand in a month?"
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
she was off her rocker. But he's stupid. He married her, and everybody around was just like, "Oh, this is a bad idea. This is a bad idea." That marriage lasted about 8 months. So 8 months, and he was just like, "Nope, done, got a divorce." And he's like still trying to pursue her for I think it's like 90 grand that was in her bank account of his. And I was like, dude, honestly, you're probably just better off letting her have it, because is 90 grand worth not dealing with this bitch ever again? And that's another thing I say too, is like, gold digging women are some of the most unhappy women in the world. Money is a new thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think it just matters, like, what do you see as safety? What do you see as safety, right? And
Exactly.
if a girl sees money as safety, and it's kind of like dudes who their highest value when looking for women is looks. If that's your highest value when it comes to looking for women, you're gonna find a woman with looks, but you're not gonna find a woman with all the other characteristics that are also important for you, right? So of course looks are important for sure, for
Yeah.
fucking sure. But and us men, we do care what you look like, girl. We do fucking
Oh yeah,
care.
we did. I'm getting fucked up.
But things that are important to me are things like high self-esteem. Do you take care of your health? Do you take care of your body? Are you a caring? Are you a loving person? To me, the highest value of a woman is a caregiver. Because my God, I love that shit. I love that shit.
That's that's perfect. I look for just like I typically do look for a skill set because it's like kind of a sign of high self esteem. Because of course, if you have like a skill, if you're like if any woman's able to cook, if she's able to cook, or she's able to, if she knows she's a good mother, like my daughter's mother, I have a 2-year-old.
Hmm.
Her mother, again, we broke up and everything else, and we broke up before I got into all this.
Hmm.
But I can say with full confidence, like she is probably the best mother I have ever seen in action. She breastfed for a year, and I don't think we don't understand how hard that is. Like she set alarms for it. She got up at 2 a.m. to hook herself up to a machine to pump milk for her child.
Hmm.
So being a good parent, that's a huge thing to me. Not just because I'm a parent, but I think everybody should just kind of look at that and plan on having a future with somebody. She can cook. She has her own kind of an organization. She's a little schizophrenic with the organization too, but again, these are things that I do look for where she's
Yeah,
organized, she has her bills paid.
nice. I totally get what you're saying. Just somebody who is looking out for the people around her, the people that matter to her. Is that what you're
Huh?
saying? Is that what you're saying?
No, what'd you say? No, what'd you say?
Are you saying that you're looking for a woman who's looking out for the people around you?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
someone who can take care of herself and the people around her. Like that's
Yo, Nick, right now,
honestly I
Sumed motherfucking Chatterjee is in the motherfucking house.
oh, there we
Yo, what's happening, Nick? How's it
what's up,
going,
man?
man?
What's
Good
up,
to
man?
connect
What's
with
going
you.
on? Ah, man, good to see you. How do I get all these how do I get you guys on oh there we are. Okay, now I can see everybody. Alright, so what's going on? Where did I leave off at? I forgot the last thing I was saying.
Mm. Yo, you were gonna talk about why do we find women's moans attractive?
Women's what? Sorry.
Women's
Got a few.
moaning attractive? You said why do we find women's moaning attractive?
Women's moaning. Yes. Okay, so that's kind of a strange evolutionary thing too. We find women's moaning attractive because this kind of goes back to that book that makes everybody uncomfortable, the Sex at Dawn. Sperm competition. We find women's moaning attractive just because we know she's ovulating. There's a chance she'll be ovulating. Like we hear a woman having sex, we know there's a really good chance that most women are more likely to have sex during their ovulation period than any other time. Once again, this is your DNA screaming, my genes must succeed. My genes must go on. I need to have sex with this, or put my seed in this woman for my genes to go on. This is not conscious. This is hardly even subconscious. This is just your genetics saying, dude, let's reproduce. There's someone able to reproduce. We can always do it. They can only do it in a certain window. Let's make sure this happens. This kind of comes from about 70,000 years ago. There was an event with the super volcano where, believe it or not, us as a human population, we were down below 10,000. Some people believe we were down like somewhere around 5,000 for the planet, which is extinction. Yet we're back up to how much is it? 6 billion or 60 billion?
8 billion. 8 billion people.
8 billion. Jesus. Yeah, 8 billion people in just 70,000 years. So that just tells you what kind of sex drive we have. So women moaning is they're overt moaners because they're not just looking for the guy whoever they're sleeping with to get them pregnant. They're looking for whoever has the strongest sperm to succeed. Their genes must go on too. Whoever has the strongest sperm will succeed.
Dude, I think like there's girls in the club who you see dancing with like 10 different dudes.
Yep.
And that's their mating strategy. I think that's what they're doing. They're trying to like um, like make other men jealous in a way and say, hey, I'm gonna be having sex tonight because I'm obviously like very horny and I'm dancing with all these dudes. I'm gonna have sex tonight. Is that gonna be you? Is that not gonna be you?
I bet whatever money in my wallet, she's ovulating. But that's yeah, no, that's just mate selection. It's a very natural, very primal thing in her brain and her DNA that's telling her like, whoever sticks around, whoever cares the least, whoever's willing to just put it in, is going to be the one to get it.
Whoever's there at the end of the day. Whoever's there at the end of
Whoever's
the
the
day.
most savage is the one who gets it. Like that's all she's that's all her DNA is screaming out.
Yo, Sumed, what's going on with you, man? What's going on with
I'm
you?
all right, bro. I'm just like waking up, just shaking off the mist. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Nick, I have a question, man. We talked about moans. I'm wondering about pheromones. So, yeah. So the thing is, yeah, I've heard that like there's certain kinds of like pheromones that are primarily associated with attraction. And what role does that play in mate selection?
Well, we just talked about a little bit about ovulation, how powerful that is for women, where they will just filter through 10 dudes in the club. They will just go through. I mean, I haven't talked about like how many like they'll get pregnant by sex. Sorry. They'll go through a whole village just during the ovulation period alone. Men give off the most pheromones after physical activity, when their confidence is high, after an achievement. And honestly, like if you have more than one woman, like ever notice how like dudes who have more than one, who are talking to more than one woman or have more than just one sex partner, get the best and most positive responses out of women? Like, it's just the more option. And again, this is probably the abundance mindset. If you have the abundance mindset, that increases your pheromones and your testosterone just of itself. I think there was research done. Guys, people texting me now. Leave me alone. Every time. There was one research done just testing the testosterone levels of men. I think it was like at Georgia University, where just after a man having a 10-minute interaction with a female raises testosterone level 14%. This just kind of chemically communicates to any woman that I have abundance. A lot of other people want my genes. Apparently, I must have some good things. Again, and also notice women also respond to. And I tell men this all the time. It's like I think it's in every pickup playbook ever. Post pictures of yourself with other women online. It sends a signal that it's like a lot of women want me. A lot of my genes are in high demand. Do you want to be in that line?
But I think some girls go like, they say, oh, that's a player. I'm not going to talk to him. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, shit. You will talk to a player. Every girl will talk to a player. They are such full of shit when they say, like, are you a player? And I'll just say, like, well, I play video games. I play football. I play baseball. Yes, I'm a player. It doesn't. You want a player. You want someone who's been around. You want someone who will succeed. Because here's the thing: if I'm capable of reproducing with many people, what does that tell you about my offspring? They'll be able to do something similar. They'll be able to achieve this kind of level. They'll be able to reproduce as much as they want with as many people as they want. If this many women find me attractive, my offspring, chances are they're going to be attracted too. Women want attractive offspring because, once again, this all comes back to just the primal thought, the primal drive in our DNA that says, my genes must go on. I think I've said that like 4 times in this podcast, but it rings true.
You know, I think I realized why being a player doesn't work for some people. Right? Because perhaps some girls are looking for committed relationships, and even though, yeah, that man is attractive because he's got other women around, I'm still not going to be with him because his purpose isn't aligned with what my purpose is. It's the same way that, like, women break up with George Clooney all the time because he's like, nah, I don't want to get married.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. I think there's a whole thing between being a refined alpha and then a natural alpha too. There's a difference between all that, which I'll get into in a second too. But I think women would like, maybe not a player per se, but they do want a man with a bun. They do want a man with a lot of options. And that's just always been the case. Like, how many kids do kings have? Medieval king, how many kids have they had? It's just let's just. I don't think I need to talk about Bill Clinton. If you live in the U.S. and you know about Bill Clinton, you know what's going on there. Every president in power, every billionaire, they, and it's not. I'm not talking about Donald. I'm talking about like, who knows how many people Dwayne Johnson has slept with. Like, this dude has a lot of money, he has a lot of charisma, and he's fucking gigantic. So women you talk to on the street, you think Dwayne Johnson's attractive? They'll say, hell yes.
Yeah, like, he's hot as fuck, bro. He's hot as fuck. He's a hot as fuck guy, for sure.
Yeah, he is. I think I'm not even sure if this woman was in character in the movie. I forget what movie it was where he was in. It was like him in a Kevin Hart movie where she said, "God, I hope he's Catholic. Catholics don't use condoms." Oh,
that's good.
I was like, I saw that. I'm like, I'm not even sure if she was in character. I think that's just how she felt. So, once again, your genes must go on. Like, that's everybody's DNA drive. Now, being a pickup artist, here's my problem with pickup artists. It doesn't really help because pickup artists, and I think Neil Strauss said this too, but they're just nerds who know how to get girls. And if you read the game, you know that Mystery was just turned into like a soft, suicidal mess when Claudia left him.
Yeah, in the
beginning. That's the thing I'm trying on my page. Like, that's the thing where I was like, I want you to refine yourself from within. Because if you end up like Mystery, what does that do for you? That doesn't do anything. Because the thing, as soon as you relax, you end up in a beta frame, and then this girl's gonna come in and just realize you're not who you sold me you were gonna be. You're not who you told me you were.
Right.
And now she's betrayed. And now she's gonna break you down.
So you're saying that there's kind of a rubber band trait for when someone's pretending to be alpha, right?
Yeah, it's like, again, pickup artists, nerds who know how to get laid. That's great, but when they try a long-term relationship, it usually fails.
So on your page, I've seen that you explain a lot of like beta male tactics, and then also you bring up a lot of alpha male tactics. So what are some ways in which someone who is primarily a beta, how can they shift more into that abundance or alpha mindset?
Tough one. So just from me being a former beta, you have to start from the bottom. You have to start. It's like a ladder. Kind of view this as a ladder to alphaness. It's one step at a time. You're not going to jump a ladder. You're not going to make a giant leap. Work on yourself. Maybe you need to update your wardrobe. Maybe you need to wear an accessory. Maybe you should like shave your guys used to like not shave my head regularly. Now I shave it like every other day. I used to not trim my beard a lot. I make sure that shit's shaped up before I go out of the house. I'm doing this because I want to look good. Like, this thing, I want to look good. I want to look presentable. I don't care who. And like, my opinion is based on myself, and I think that's where a lot of men need to understand. You're not going to fix yourself up to peacock for a girl. Again, it's a pickup artist tactic. Peacock, and women all know it now. Don't peacock for somebody else. You have to straighten yourself up, get a style, buy new shirts, dress well because you want to look good. You think you have a sense of duty to look good. You have a sense of duty to keep your tie straight or make sure your shirt's
that's sort of the. Would you agree with me that that's sort of the outer game?
That's what?
Outer game.
Sorry, cut off.
Outer game. Outer game.
Alpha game.
Outer.
Alpha game.
Outer,
Alpha
like external, like not internal.
Yeah, it's external game.
Yeah.
It's both. It's both in my opinion, because I'm doing this as part of my daily routine. This is how I want to present myself. I want to feel good when I look in the mirror saying, all right, you look good. This is good.
Mm.
You're doing it for yourself. It starts again with also getting your ass in the gym, because you need to be more active. You need to develop your testosterone. You need to get out, maybe get around some people. The gym for me is a pretty big social network, social setting. I like coffee shops because as much as I wish there weren't people in the coffee shop with me right now, I do like when there are people around.
Mm.
It's
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
You mentioned like a lot of things, right? That like you're doing good at, right? But you know, obviously nobody's perfect, right? Would you agree? Nobody's perfect, right? Where do you feel like you need to work on in order to level up?
I feel like the next level up is probably in with my finances. I feel like I need to get those a little more straight. Like when I talk to my clients, a lot of times I'll let them go over time, and I'll just like, comp it. I need to learn. I know for a fact I need to start like being strict on my prices. Where I say like, no, listen, you need to pay me $55 an hour. This is not a lot, by the way, for a dating coach. It's $55 an hour. I always give out the first hour free because I want to make sure people who I talk to know I'm for real. So I'm trying to give them real advice, things that they can apply, things that they can apply to themselves. And then after that, we move to like, okay, now it's pay period. Sometimes I've gone as far as like an hour and a half and just told them like, don't worry about it. So I definitely need to get my finances in order. I need to start like setting that boundary more. And that's where I started recently getting into boundaries, because I realized my boundaries were a little bit weak as an alpha. I really need to just myself get these boundaries set, get a no set. It's that's something I see a lot of guys are trouble with that too. Like boundaries are a new thing, especially when it comes to women. Like guys do not set boundaries with women. Like if I'm texting a girl, I'm gonna stop texting her when I feel like going to bed. I'm not gonna stay up till 1 a.m. and 1 a.m. I'm not sure what time it is with you guys. 1 o'clock in the morning when I know I should be asleep right now. Like that's a beta mindset to have. You go to bed when you know you should go to bed. You get up at your alarm that you set because you know you need to get up at this time. And you need to look out for yourself first. Like that's the big alpha trick to have. So those are just a couple things that I want to work on. I'm working on boundaries right now. Working on that right now with people. The funny thing is when you start changing up your behavior, people around you start questioning you because they're not really sure what you're doing. And so you can make it clear to everybody what you're about doing. So I've told everybody around me too, I'm doing better. I need to do better by setting my boundaries. So if I hang up, if I tell you, hey, I gotta go, there's no, okay, wait, what? There's no, hey, can you just wait another hour? Can you hang on with me for a little bit? Like, no, dude, I got to go. I have a certain time I want to be asleep. I have a certain time I want to wake up. If you need to get back to me, we can set up a time. I'll get back to you at this time tomorrow.
I see what you're saying. So why do you think that people have a problem with not being able to set boundaries?
People are people pleasers. Like everybody wants to be accepted. That's normal because you want people, especially in today's society, to accept you, to be accepting of you for who you are. Too. The thing is, like, is people accepting you by any means necessary acceptable? If that makes sense, like that shouldn't be. I shouldn't have to please or appease somebody else to be accepted. That shouldn't jive with me in any kind of way. It shouldn't work. I should be who I am. I should have my set schedule, and I should have that schedule respected.
Yeah, a really great resource for that also is like this book that I recently came across called Not Nice by Dr. Aziz, and he like breaks down the whole people pleaser mentality. So if any listeners want to find out more about that, how to break out of that, it's a great resource.
Might be doing that. Might be reading that next too.
Can you talk a bit about it soon? Can you talk a bit about it?
Yeah, it's basically him describing his life story, right? He used to just lock himself in his room and play video games. And then he reached this one breaking point where he's like, man, I really need to do something to change my life. Like, I'm having all these interactions, but none of them are becoming relationships. And so what he really breaks down in the book, like the people pleaser mindset and like how he was thinking earlier and then how he started to change and shift his thinking. And yeah, I'm like halfway through the book now, so I can't say too much about it or where it's going to lead to, but right now it seems really interesting. Yeah.
Hmm.
I want to read that book now.
Hmm.
No More Mr.
We've
Nice
gone
Guy.
over our hour. We've gone over our hour. We can keep talking if you guys want. We could end it soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we could end it
I
soon.
keep talking.
Yeah. Well, I don't want it to go into like the 2 hour range. But yeah, we'll cut it up soon.
Yeah.
Um.
I should try this again sometime, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm seeing if I have any more questions for you or that sort of nature.
What did I hit on earlier that I probably wanted to get into? I could do the whole red pill, blue pill, black pill thing. That's what we started with. I got around to talking about a lot of tribal stuff, a lot of like how our primitive nature and sex kind of works too. Little random fact, humans have the biggest genitals of any other primate. That's something that book makes very clear.
Really?
Yeah, like we're like 3 times the size of any other primate. It's weird.
I'm pretty sure the bonobos have bigger balls. And this is crazy though.
No,
And
we're talking about bonobos, so they might.
Gorillas actually have smaller balls, right?
They have the smallest dick, I think. They have like 3-inch cocks.
Really? So,
Which is
I read
weird.
that we're monogamous. The gorillas are monogamous because like they have smaller balls and like this, like the bigger the balls are, like the more likely of polyamory, like the bonobos. The bonobos are polyamorous. They fuck it like everybody. They fuck each other. They fuck other tribes. The women fuck each other. The men fuck each other. The women will fuck any man that just wants to bug. Like,
Oh yeah, bonobos are nuts.
but for us, I think we're in between. It just depends. It just depends on the person.
We are. We're in between. We're in between gibbons who are known for monogamy to mate for life. Pair bond. That's another thing. Like if we ever do another podcast, pair bonding I could go on forever about. And what is it? Bonobos. You said they'll fuck anything. And chimps who are not monogamous, but they mate guard. What mate guarding is, and I see a lot of guys falling victim to this, is where you hang around a woman too much, and she gets sick of you. She calls you clingy. She starts pulling away from you, and ultimately, in her mind, she broke up with you. In her mind, she left you. She told you she wants you to leave her alone because you're just too damn clingy. But she cheats on you, and that's where a lot of men start feeling betrayed. Like, how can you cheat on me? I started hanging around you. I did everything you wanted. And I'm like, well, that's kind of the problem, dude. You're not supposed to do everything she wants. You're supposed to do whatever you want to do for her. Like, if you want, like, there's been times where I know I'm being tested by a woman, and that's something else we'll talk about too, is the shit test that women do. I'll catch myself falling for it. You're not going to pass every shit test. That's something else too. You can just everybody listening can just get that out of their head. You're not going to pass every single shit test because I'll be asked, hey, can you grab this cup? Can you grab this remote? Can you grab that? Can you get this? And around like the 3rd or 4th time, I start catching on, and around the 4th or 5th time, I'll say, "No, get it yourself." She'll look at me and she'll fuss and they'll bitch and they'll moan. Like, you're right there. Why can't you bring me that water? Like, you're right there in the kitchen. I'm like, because I don't want to. And then actually stand by it too. Like, matter of fact, sometimes I'll go back in, get a glass of water and drink it in front of her. Just because I'm that kind of person.
I think
So-
I think you might wanna like change your approach there, because like let's just say if a girl is we're supposed to meet up, right? And she's like, oh, I think I'm gonna be 15 minutes late, right?
Mm.
I'm not gonna be like, just cancel it, just cancel,
No,
like
it's not that.
no, or yeah, and I'm also not gonna say yeah, sure, that's fine, right? But what I will say is, okay, you can do that as long as you wash my dishes, or as long as you clean my clothes,
That's a good one.
right?
Mm.
So she's like, oh yeah, sure, it's all right, and then
Uh,
yeah,
No,
learned that one was from Hypnotica, right? Like you
no,
learned that.
no, I didn't learn that here. There, it was Max.
Oh, oh, okay, Max. Okay, that's awesome.
you get hit with the I don't do that.
Reciprocal nature of, yeah, that's really cool. So I had a bit of a clarification in terms of the whole black pill, blue pill, purple pill, orange pill, whatever
Bro, what's
what
up,
other
man?
whatever
Rainbow
other
pill.
pills, rainbow
drugs.
pill, just a bunch of drugs. Um, so what exactly is this concept of like, I understand what red pill is and I understand what blue pill is and kind of get what black pill is, but could you explain a little bit more about like um how did this whole thing like emerge, and what exactly is this matrix that people are talking about?
Honestly, I think when people use the word matrix, we just because I'm in the same boat. I just can't come up with a better metaphor to describe what's happened. So
Right.
I'm just gonna.
You're
I'll
stuck
start.
with this one, yeah.
Yeah, there is no better metaphor than describe it as a matrix. Because movies like romantic comedies, a whole bunch of Disney, everything else like Find Your Prince Charming, that'll trick you into the blue pill matrix of thinking. If you serve and stick by your woman and let her lead, let her be her, then you can ride off into the sunset and be happy. Newsflash: there is no sunset. That's when the red pill comes in. The red pill comes in by saying like, no, the gender rules are right. And I remember seeing this movie. I forgot what it was called. It's a Matthew McConaughey movie where he was a player and he said the most truest thing I think I've ever heard. Where he said,
Girls,
"One who has
what is it? Ghost to Girlfriend's Past.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, so you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah,
Awesome.
the one who cares the least has the most power."
Mm.
And I was just like, why does it? Even when I was in my little blue pill matrix, I always thought like, why does that sound right? That sounds right. I don't know why that sounds right. I think it's wrong, but is it? So
I don't know. I think it could be wrong.
Mm.
I think it's wrong if you use it the wrong way. Everything can be abused.
Mm.
If you abuse it the wrong way, because women are still people, and I think that's what red pill kind of fails to include, that women are still people with people like feelings and people thoughts.
You know why I think it's wrong? I realize now why I think it's wrong, right? Because it's not about who cares more or who cares least, but it's what you care about,
Mm.
right? Because somebody could care a lot about validation. Yeah, that's gonna mess you up, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
But or someone can care more about connection and intimacy, right? And clarity, right? I care a lot about those things, right? Which is what makes my relationships work, because I care a lot.
Right. It's like caring in the right context, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, it is, and I think
But
it's
yeah,
also
so this black pill, is that just like guys who have it very set in their head that it's about looks and status? That there's no
yes,
kind of, okay.
and it probably goes a little bit deeper than that because they think it's about looks, they think it's about status, and they have names for a lot of guys who are good with women. They call them Chaz and Tyrones, and it gets a little racist, a little uncomfortable.
Chads and Tyrones. So Tyrone is like the
Because
black version
the
of
Tyrones are the
Chad?
black guys. And I was just like,
Okay.
and the Chads are always the white guys. I'm not sure where everybody else falls in. But apparently,
Okay.
no other nationality matters. Those are the only two.
Okay.
They should add
And
Indians in there, bro. Yo, bro, they
Yeah,
gotta add
yeah,
you in there.
sorry, they just left you out.
yeah. Yeah, who do I speak to?
Hispanic,
Which
they left them all
committee?
out.
Which committee of memes do I have to hijack? Right.
They just left the Hispanics out too, and they all of Asian that bring Hispanic. Everybody's
They
left
left
out.
out
Just
the
black and white.
Joses. They left out the Ahmeds. They left out the
Jose-
Mohammeds. Where my motherfucking Mohammeds at, bro?
They left out Mr. Miyagi. It's just
The
Yeah.
Miyagis. Yeah.
The Miyagi family dynasty. Yeah.
they left them out. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
It happened.
But yeah. So they
Okay.
all that matters. Looks is all that matters. And they think women are just kind of every woman is a whore, and that's just something like no, because not only do I just have a daughter, like I've met women that are just not whores. So like that can't be true. Not every woman is a whore. Because when black pill people say every woman's a whore, they mean like no, every single woman in the world is just a whore looking for a Chad or a Tyrone. And I looked at this whole thing. I'm like, that's not true. I think women have a certain nature, kind of like men. How we're looking for a certain look. We have like a certain bias to. I think my thing right now.
Hmm.
Oh no, it didn't. Am I still on?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Weird notification. They're just looking for their preference. If you're all of 5 feet tall and 110 pounds, or if you are 5'5" and 400 pounds, you're probably not just every girl's preference. And if you're black pill, then you got a lot of work to do, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. It's again where I say like a lot of this starts from within. Like you can't just if you weigh 500 pounds and you think women are your number one problem, then you need a reality check.
I think I get what you're saying. So you're saying like yeah, there's a general like if you have abs and if you're tall and if you're rich and you have a nice car, if you dress nice, you got a good beard and you got a fucking nice pubes, you know, you have like the general things like she takes down your pants, right? And she's like, yo, this guy's pubes look like a bonsai tree.
Yeah.
So certain things are like, yeah, those are like likes. Like I like that, but it will cause attraction, but it won't cause seduction.
Hmm.
Exactly. Yeah. What's another thing with the black pill? I don't hang around. I didn't really look into black pill that much, but they weren't a hard group to understand. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. They're not hard to understand.
Yeah. It seems very straightforward.
Yeah. And the
Well,
weird
so,
thing is to me, like, they hate the red pill community.
Right. So I heard this term purple pill as well. These people who pretend to ignore the red pill. So they're kind of just like they know about everything, but and they decide to be blue pilled essentially. They get into relationships. They have the family. So in terms of that, like, do you find that that's an effective kind of strategy when you know this information, but then you still decide to go the other way?
Well, I think I have not been accused of being purple pill yet. In my mind, I could have sworn that was going to come to me because on my page, I'm not opposed to relationships. I don't just bash women. I don't just think all hypergamous nutbags.
Right.
A lot of red pill pages do. A lot of red pill coaches say that women are just to be used for sex, or women are just they are all this way. There is no such thing as no waltz. Not all women are like that. And on my page, I constantly say there are 4 billion women in the world. Not all of them can just be hypergamous whores. Like that's not possible.
You know what I think so?
Even
I think if there's a hot girl and she lives in LA or like New York, she's definitely much more likely to be a hypergamous whore for sure. I'm not using the term whore in like a negative way. Like, yeah, sure, you know, if you want to go and like, make out with like other chicks and fuck other dudes, that's fine. but that's not for me, right? Because if you go to Russia and you go to Ukraine, where the women are like the standard of attractiveness for women there, like it's like they're all fucking hot. Like they're really, really, really attractive over there. So
Yeah,
girls,
exactly.
so the girls that you would think that like you put them in like LA, they're gonna be bitchy. They're gonna be like those girls. Oh, you can't get to me. They're gonna be like little sluts. But in Russia, because everyone's already so hot, the girls they're like, well, there's not a like there's the competition is different. The competition is different. It's a different game.
Mhm.
It is. It comes down to like basically what's your household skill set, how well read are you, and
To love, it comes down to love. I think it comes
love
down
too,
to
yeah.
love.
Oh, no, it definitely does come down to love too.
Because just imagine that you're around like let's just say the world right now would like level up, and all the dudes are like us. All the dudes are like masculine dudes. They're like guys who are on their purpose, guys who work out, like they're attractive. Like and let's just say everyone is like 6'2". Let's just say everyone is 6'2", right? Everyone is
Not for
rich.
sure.
Everyone has Lamborghinis, right? Everybody's handsome. Everybody smells good, right? What would be the deciding factor in I'm going to be with this guy, right?
Oh, everyone was like, I'm not sure how the deciding factor would go. I think it would come down to personality. Come down to personality, love, confidence,
Mm.
and just yeah. It might actually just come down to a foot race. Who can get to you who can get to this girl faster?
I would say strength in character. I think that's
Yeah, personality.
Personality for sure.
Definitely.
I think that's a really good note to finish this podcast with. Nick, where can people get in touch with you?
You guys can get in touch with me at the Alpha Ascension or Papa Puff Millennial. And I had to spell millennial wrong because MIL was already taken, so I put MEL. Guys, make sure you reach that. I'm starting off my new website called the Alpha Ascension. And that's what I have right now to plug. That's all I have. I haven't started a YouTube channel yet. But once again, when I start a YouTube channel, that'll also be called the Alpha Ascension. So everybody be on the lookout for that.
Why don't you change your Instagram to Alpha Ascension as well?
Oh, that is my Instagram. It's the same one you guys know. It's Papa Puff Millennial. I just also named it Alpha Ascension because I wasn't sure what name I want to go with. So that's my weak plug right there.
If you changed your @ name to Alpha Ascension, it would look better.
I think so too.
It's more clear like who you are and what you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Sure, I'm probably gonna do it too. I just want to. Hopefully, that domain's not taken. But
Alpha Ascension _
Yeah, add dots and underscores.
that does it all. I'm just gonna underscore this somewhere.
Imagine like 500 years from now, all the usernames will be taken. You know what I mean? Like,
Everything will be underscored after every
everything
letter.
will be underscore. Yeah.
_ Alpha.
Tim.
A underscore A underscore.
Yeah,
Just keeps going.
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking in my mind too.
So we have so many different platforms.
And you do coaching, yes? You do coaching?
I do coaching. Everybody can just DM me for coaching. Correct. The best way to reach me is you can also reach me on my email at neogre@yahoo.com. But the best way to reach me is at right now Papa Puff _ Millennial on Instagram. Just DM me, and I usually respond to everybody. Like I won't respond to them right away, but I get to everyone I can get to. Typically within like 28 to 48 hours, you hear from me.
All right.
Awesome.
Soom, do you want to close us out?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I wasn't here in the beginning of this episode. However, I just wanted to say that I hope you guys are having an incredible day. And yeah, make sure that you connect with us. Make sure that you leave us a review. And also share this with your friends because, they need to hear this. essentially, if you are a fan of the Better Man podcast, just so you know, we haven't had an episode. However, we will get the ball rolling again for you guys, and I hope you have an incredible rest of your day. Be the best, forget the rest.
Go to the next. Remember. Go to the next video that is it's down here. There's a lot of different videos that have to do with relationships and dating and alpha mindset. Go to those videos next if you like this content.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Peace out.
Hey, be the best, forget the rest. Odd resilience.
Hey, Flow Zone Academy.
If you would like to contact Sumed for peak performance coaching, go to @FlowZone Academy on Instagram. That's FLOZONE Academy. If you would like to connect to your higher self, contact Ivan at odd.resilience. That's ODD.resilience. Also, make sure you follow the Better Man podcast on Instagram. See you next time.